We hear women just screaming like they're dying. Hello everybody, my name is Andrea. Welcome to my channel. Oh, hello there. I want this channel to be very diverse. I don't want it to just be like about makeup or like about vlogging or like story times. You know, I want it to be like everything that I do. All right, so let's get on with the video. For those of you who don't know, I am Costa Rican. I was born there and I came here when I was about 3 years old, and I have basically all of my family in Costa Rica. We only go once a year, usually go for 2 weeks around Christmas time, and in those 2 weeks we try to spend time with as much family as possible. Our aunt had told us right before we left to Costa Rica that she had a surprise for us. So the night before I asked her like, so what do we pack? Because she had told us like a month prior that we were gonna do camping on the beach. So I was like, is it still camping, or is it like cabins, or is it like a hotel or a resort? Because we usually go to either or. It was just like, I'm not gonna tell you, go to sleep, you'll see tomorrow. So we woke up the next morning at like 4 so that we could be on the road at 5 in the morning. It was a total of 30 of us going. We're driving for like an hour. I was like, oh, a gate, that's like private community, that's luxury, like Kim Kardashian. Like, but we enter the gate, we drive for a little while, and then we end up pulling up to this house. My aunt turns around and she was like, so all my life, as you guys know, I didn't know, I've been wanting either a beach house or a mountain house, and this particular one was the one. So I decided to get a beach house. And in my head, I was like, where the beach at though? You can't have a beach house without the beach. Where's the beach? I was really confused, but I was also happy for her. There was no service in this house, but it was just for one night. So I was like, I'll be fine. We go inside and the house is really beautiful. It had a pool, it had a pool table, it had like 3 or 4 rooms. It was a really nice house. So a little side note, family friends thought that we were going camping, so they had brought all their tents and they were like, we'll just sleep out here. We'll set up tents outside the house. So we get breakfast and then we head off to the beach. We get there and we're like the only ones at that beach. We're all in the water. We were all kind of like in a straight line. We would either like jump the wave or swim under. 2 of my cousins start screaming and they're like, oh my god! We're like, what? If I see somebody running, I'm gonna start running too. They were like, it's stingrays, it's stingrays. 5 minutes later, we start to see all of these stingrays just flying out like if they had wings coming out of the ocean. I don't mess with stingrays. With their little sword tail, that's it. And I was just not about to die. Time to go. So I left, and then everybody slowly started to come out because the stingrays started to get closer to the shore. I think they were just like, we don't want you here. So we left. After you leave the beach, you have those little shower things that get rid of the sand for you. We were getting rid of the sand. One of my little cousins starts screaming and she's holding her finger. She's like, oh, mommy. We're all like, what happened? Like, did like she get her finger chopped off? Like, she was like, mommy, it hurts, it hurts. Her sister comes running behind them. She was like, a spider bit her. A spider? They're like, are you okay? Do you feel nauseous? What are you feeling? And the girl's just crying. She's just like, mommy, it hurts, it hurts. And then the mom's like, oh my gosh, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no hospital. What are we gonna do? Everybody just starts praying on her finger and just asking her like, is it numb? Like, do you feel sick? Do you feel dizzy? Like, what are you feeling? But the girl's just like, you know how after like you get a bite on something, you get the little bump, like a mosquito bite? And they were like, we're gonna have to like pop the bump and get all of the venom out if there's any, because then if not, what if it spreads? And they ended up having to pop her spider bite. And the spider was like, it was not like a huge spider, it did have some long legs. And so they popped the spider bite and we're like, Jesus Christ. The girl's just crying the whole time. They ended up like calming her down. What sucked was that the last time that they came to the beach, it wasn't this beach, it was a different beach. She had gotten stung by the jellyfish and her dad had to pee on her. So then we went back to the beach house, we ate. So 2 months before I went to Costa Rica, I had gotten engaged. I was playing with my cousins and I went outside and everybody was wearing flower crowns, flower necklaces, Hawaiian skirts. It was like a really cute time. So we had plans to leave the next day, but when we woke up in the morning, their minibus had a flat tire. We just spent the whole day in the pool. They went to go buy stuff to fix the tire. And then when they came back, we had dinner. We stayed up playing till like 3 in the morning and all of the adults were about to go to sleep. This is where it gets pricey. From nowhere, we hear something in like a storage closet. Our cousin comes out because I think she was sleeping and we were being too loud. And we're like, do you mind checking over there to see if there's a raccoon trying to eat our chips? Because none of us wanted to stand up to go check. She went to go look in there. She said there was nothing, but we clearly heard like rustling inside the storage closet. I was like, did anything fall? And she was like, is there anything on the floor, like chips or something? She was like, no, everything's still in place. We were kind of like, okay, that's weird. When it hits 3 in the morning, I get a little anxious because you know that's like the devil time. My cousin comes back, we're like sitting down, we keep playing, and then 2 of our cousins are like, shut up. And we're like, why? We hear women just screaming like they're dying. I literally had like goosebumps all over my body. I couldn't even talk because I felt like the air, like hard to breathe. I felt like I was about to have a panic attack. One of our family friends had a tent set up like right a couple feet far from the house. My cousin's wife and kid were already sleeping inside the tent, but he stayed out with us. So he starts like with the flashlight, like looking around. My cousin sees something under the tent. He lifts up the tent and it's a tarantula. My cousin doesn't waste no time over there. He just takes off his chancla and boom! A tarantula just ends up like dead. And then he went running because he heard rustling kind of by where the tent was. He was like, I see a skunk, no two. And those two skunks decided to leave their trail of love for the whole house to smell. So he's like, ugh. I couldn't smell it yet, but he was just like, give it a minute. Bro, it hit. We're like, ugh. I'm the type of person that if I hear somebody throw up, I'm gonna want to throw up. So one person was like, it was so disgusting. Nasty. So then after that happens, we like sit back down. The only thing protecting us from the house in the wilderness is like this mosquito thing. And it had a hole in it. We're like in the middle of talking and out of nowhere, an owl flies through the hole from the mosquito thing and just hits the other side of the net and like boom. We didn't know what it was at first. And our cousin went to go check. He just helped the owl and then the owl flew out. It was just like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. And we were all like, me neither. So we waited until like 5:15 for the sun to come up. We told everybody the next morning and nobody wanted to believe us. They were like,
oh, it was just like these dog monkeys things.
We had looked up all types of animals that sound like screaming women, and none of them sounded like what we heard. The fact that there was just no protection or anything, like there's like a gate, but like that gate was anybody could just jump a gate. We're in the middle of the wilderness, like either a person or like a tiger. Yeah, it was just a lot for one weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed my first story time. Also, just want to encourage, because I know a lot of people were like, I've always wanted to do a YouTube video. In the beginning, it's kind of hard to put yourself out there, but the more that you do it, the better you'll get at it. You really have to just try it to see if you're gonna like it or not. Who knows like what the results will be unless you actually try your best. There are gonna be some things that you try and you're like, it's not for me, and it's okay because you tried it. Thank you guys again so much for being so encouraging and so supportive. If you haven't already, click that little subscribe button. I believe it's gonna be on this side. If it's not on this side, then on this side. Either way, wherever it is, just make sure you click it.